Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. Good morning. It's afternoon for me, but good morning for most of you. And good evening to the rest of you, because I know I have quite a few people watching at night. So I have just created a small landscape, and I started with a tiny little sketch with sky, trees, trunks, sunset behind and foreground. And I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to make sure I have my glasses on my face, and they're over here. And I started with white in the sky, which is not a bad idea for me because if I'd like to use the neons, and I do, which reminds me, I forgot the one I wanted the most. I'm going to use my OXO omelet turning spatula to spread that paint. I'm going to use the smaller one, don't ask me why, because I think I might use it some more for that sky. There's a lot of reflection under here, under this. I have a white canopy. If you're ever curious about what my studio looks like, there is a studio tour. Feel free. I'm going to rub my finger down the edges to add some wet paint to it, hoping that that will help when it comes time and I have some extra paint to add. Boy, I'm having a really hard time seeing that. Alright, I want just enough paint, not an overabundance, but just enough paint to help what I add to the sky to flow. And it's taking me too long, and I'm not happy about that. But I am going to steal some paint, put it up there, run it down. Sometimes it's just easier with my finger because I can feel the texture of the canvas and if it's covered or not. And even if it's got a thin layer, it's better than not. So it doesn't matter what colors are in my sky for sunset colors. I'm going to run that down a little further because I can. Feels like I haven't cleaned my spatula well enough because I can feel grit as I pull it across. So if you do buy spatulas, on my Amazon link below the video, make sure you do better than I do and clean them more regularly, or clean them more thoroughly, I should say, because sometimes there's grit and it will leave a mark in the paint you're trying to smooth with the spatula, which is sort of like calling it a moot point. Now I had quite a bit of paint in the last sky. I did have some nice cells. I've been enjoying just playing with what I consider sunset colors. And I am just going to keep adding paint, and then eventually I expect to be able to get into... Oh! Okay, that was interesting. That is a metallic. I did not realize that. Okay, well never mind. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I want some of this Bahama blue down here, and maybe a little elsewhere. And I'm not leaping to add yellow to the sky quite yet because that will create an opportunity for green to form that I'm not really ready yet for. I have more cool purples, and I need some of them in that sky. And I may have to go back and add a little bit of white to mix it up, but let's... here goes nothing. Alright, here goes nothing over the edge first. And there's whatever was on my spatula or in my paint, which is too bad because now I have to decide what to do with that area. But being that it's an abstract pattern, I think everything will work itself out. Let that go over the side too. And take the paint that's still on the spatula, starting with tapping it on the edge to cover it. And I'm not feeling like I need the abundance of yellow that I was contemplating. I have still got nice paint on my spatula before it turns too awful muddy. But dusk looks kind of muddy, doesn't it? And so this is a dusky sunset sky. I'm still tempted by a little yellow, I gotta say. Also, I've got Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas, which will aid in creating more of a design. I left some off this edge over here, but fortunately I still have enough left on my spatula, if I'm paying attention, to go back there and cover it. And I may just want to wipe that off clean. And let's see what happens when I put a little white up there. I already moved my paints in too close to me. Alright, let that fall right over the edge. I want some yellow, but I think if I put it in last, I may get lucky enough to not change everything past. You know what else I'm going to do? I think I'm going to try and see what the blending of using the basting brush does. Because the paint is good and wet, and as long as it's nice and thick still, I should be able to take advantage of that. It's less of a swipe. That's pretty cool. I'm okay with that. Yep, I'm getting the hang of this a little bit. Okay, so that's a fun sunset sky, and I still want trees down here. And I like that blue, but I think it needs to be a little bit less the color it is and more another color. And I'm going to mix my metallic blue with it. Let some fall over the side. And try not to leave too much of a mark on the edge where the line of demarcation is. I know that orange can be fixed. I don't know that I can fix all of the edges to become the same color, but I can blend them so that they're not obnoxiously different too. Alright, so we've gotten to the point where I got to get that top to my squeeze bottle out of my hand and wipe off my spatula but good on my rag shirt, whatever you want to call it. So in the previous landscape, skyscape, whatever, I put black in the foreground expecting to swipe over it with other colors, but I wound up with too much black and it looked so good I just couldn't help myself. I just had to leave it. So this time I'm going to see if I can spread it a little thinner. I don't want to go too much thicker than that, and I do want it to go over the edge. I don't think the little practice session hurt me. We have just enough time to do a fast version of this. I never really give myself time to try any of these not on camera before I do them, and I wouldn't expect anybody to do them as quick as me, but I am trying to just provide you guys with some ideas. Just like in the book, there are some ideas, questions and answers. That book is out soon. Very soon. It's supposed to go to into the approval process tonight, and tonight for me is what, the 15th? Anyway, so it takes 3 to 5 days, and I think I might be out of your shot, but I will let whatever I need to dribble over there at the bottom next time. Now, what really worked well for me, that's not wiping off at all, the last time was this little iPod dish, and I'm tempted. You know what? I got space for that right there. I want more colors, but I like the colors I had, and I'm very happy to try and use them again. I'm not sure where the tops are on. I don't think I want very much of that. I didn't use any turquoise. Turquoise winds up being, there we go. I know I say don't waste any paint, but every time I do that I feel like I'm wasting paint. Nothing is squeezing out very easily, but that may be actually a favor to me. Oh, I don't want a big splooge there. I really don't. The patientless people like myself are tortured by things that need to take too much time. So I used dark purple in there, and I like that. I'm going to throw a little bit of that in there. I like the ones that come out really well. I may have put a little bit of gold in. I can't remember if I did it or not. I'm going to use a little bit of black this time. I could use a little bit of white. This blue is good. I love the metallic forest green. It's beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to have enough paint unless I fill that container up. And I'm very tempted to throw, even though I know it'll dry burgundy, I think that will be okay. I am going a little crazier. I'm going to be just very judicious with adding that white and maybe cover it up. Just a little hint here and there is like the light reflecting off of something, and that makes it nice. Go back to my, oh, there's what I'm missing. I want a little more of that on the top. The one that was frustrating me. Yes, yes, come out. All right, you know what? Life is short. Clean your tips. Out you come. I am going to replace my marbles that I shake in my bottles with nuts with holes in the middle, probably chrome or steel, whatever works best. You know what? I'm just going to put a bunch of that in there because time's a wasting, and it's time to take advantage. Oh, I have another color. I just found. Oh, it's similar to another color. It's probably just a smaller bottle of the same color. What else? I don't know. But I had a really good time making my trees last time, and I don't really want to run out of paint. I am going to put that to the side. I'm going to clean off my little spatula because I may want that to manipulate my trees. So, you know what? Let's just put a layer of something right back here right now, because that's, yeah, I want something back there right now. That's why, because I can. Because I have to have something wet to put my tree trunks across. I don't really want that black on there, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal when it comes down to it. So I'm not sure why I left that blank, except for I really like the way the white looked on the last one, but it was at the top of the trees and not, and this one, the top of the trees is going to be in the blue. So it's going to be a completely different picture. And I just noticed that I am sans blue right there, and now I have some. I will go back and probably touch up the edges, but I figure in the long run people could frame this if they wanted to, so why not? So here goes nothing. Do I want to put my tree trunks in first? I'm going to do that just because I can. I'm going to space them. Really? I'm not? I thought I was. Yeah, there is still something in there. I'm just going to drag it through the white paint. Probably should have tried to make them even, because if somebody planted a tree well, they'd measure, wouldn't they? I'm not sure what's going to happen with those yet. Even if they disappear, I can remake them at the end. And I want to do, I'm just going to take a scoop and start out the way I started out last time. Not sure what kind of trees they are. They're funky alien trees. And I did fill in with trees in between afterwards. I just want to make sure I have enough paint. If I have to make more paint, I can do that. There's one with a leaning issue. And I can always use my squeeze bottles if I so desire. But I like the little stripy patterns coming out of the scoop. If I dump that, might be too soon. Looks like I'm going to have enough paint and then maybe a little more than that. And that's okay with me, because I can always go back and fill in with something if I want. Like so. And then use my skewer or my spatula. We'll see what comes next. Somebody's pretty little planted tree wall. Maybe a little closer to us on the left-hand end than on the right. That's okay. I'll let the spatula empty itself over the edge. And I think I'm going to use, empty the scoop. Me and my words. We're not always friends lately. That's okay. I get it out sooner or later. All right, let's try something simple to begin with. Let's go up. Let's go up with the bamboo skewer. So we've got the puddle of paint, and by going one way first and then the other way backwards, I sort of kept the two kinds of patterns distinctly different. Yeah, I wanted to try that, and I don't think I mind it. Thought about a fork. Yep, I like that. It snowed, but only on one tree. Yep, just zigzagging back and forth. I'm channeling Bob Ross. Yeah, I'm not minding that either. That's pretty cool. Just pull the bamboo skewer down out of the bottom. I mean, I do have some kind of pretty patterns in there, but I need to find out, and I like what I'm doing, so I forgive myself. I'm hoping that it will be at least as good, if not an improvement of. And they do look like trees. The intended goal, make trees. Yeah, that's kind of cute. I got some more tree trunks to put in. I don't have the same white sky back there, but I don't hate it either. It's pretty cool. And I got 3 minutes left to tell you whatever I'm supposed to tell you, which is probably shop my Amazon link at no added cost to you. Helps me out in the long run. There's all kinds of art supplies and cool stuff, and my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas and my OXO omelet turning spatulas are both in there, along with paints and Floetrol and other things such as you can find in the recipe for my paint pouring mixture, which is underneath the video in the description, along with my Pinterest board link and my Instagram link. Yes, I can talk and work, sort of. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. I'm not unhappy with that. I would like a little more, come on, into my hand, a little more something over here. So I'm just going to add it. It's an abstract design. I don't mind how the trees look, but they're not really wide enough, so I have to decide what to do about that. And I'm going to use whatever the extra paint is to fill in the paint that gets on my spatula from doing that. What are you? You do not belong there. I can tell that you are thicker than the rest of everything on my painting. Yes. So, I'm just going to insert the blade of that spatula and sort of pull it out at the bottom so it's a little wider, and then use the residual that's on it. And that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I got a few crooked trees, but nothing major. Like I said, it's an abstract impressionist landscape, so if something's not perfect, it's not meant to be. It's just giving the impression of it. That's just fun. I just like that. I suspect I could probably, now I have a white background. I didn't put the, okay, well, there's the white. Oh, I'm missing a few brain cells lately. Never mind. It's still pretty cool. I'm just going to go through and pull those tree limbs at the bottom down and figure they're catching some light. And that's okay with me. And you'll be gone in a second. You're probably already gone. And I'm going to touch up my bottom and take my picture. And before I'm gone, I should tell you, torching takes the bubbles out of the paint. That is something that does not belong there.